It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about eBay and a scam that I want you guys to be aware of. Someone tried to get me with this a couple times actually over the past few years. And I want to explain it to you so you don't fall for it and you understand that you can fight it and you do have rights as an eBay seller. Now, I know eBay is, a lot of people think, oh, eBay, you know, they call, what do they call it? I forget what they call it, Evil Bay. And it can be. It can be. And this is one of those instances. I've done rants before where I was pissed off and, totally just lost my temper and somebody was stalking me and threatened to kill me and all that other stuff. It's in my channel. You can find it somewhere. That was a couple years ago. But this time, I mean, it's the same old thing. This has happened a couple times to me. And I investigated this one and I won. And I want to let you know about it because I don't want to see you guys getting ripped off. This thing you see behind me is called a Palitoy Death Star playset. Play Center, something like that. Anyway, I make these in my shop on eBay, on Jenner Custom Toys. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a playset display stand for your Star Wars action figures. And it's kind of labor intensive to make. I charge about $250 for it. And that's about it. It's a recreation. It's not meant to be looking like the original. But we're not here to talk about that. I sell plenty of these over the past 6-8 years. And people like them. And they're fun to make. And I know people appreciate them. This particular person, I was going to put the messages and everything up on the screen, but as looking through the rules and stuff of eBay and YouTube, it would be called doxing because this is private emails. So I'm going to have to read them for you. Just going to take my word for it. I got away with it once before. I don't want to get in trouble. So anyway, a few months ago, I get a message on eBay asking me about the Palitoy Death Star. A gentleman wanted to know if I would sell just the files to print out the pieces. And I said no, because this is my adaptation of artwork. It's not identical to the original. It's got some of my own artwork in it. I said, you're welcome to buy a playset if you want to, but I won't send out the files. That's just stupid, because then he can take them and start printing them himself and undercut me maybe, or it just, no, I'm not going to do it. About a month goes by. He ended up ordering one. I'm like, okay, guy changed his mind. I made it for him. Mailed it out to him. It was March 3rd. March 3rd is the day that it left the shop. And about a week later, I get an email back from him asking a couple questions about it. He said there was a part that didn't match up, and he said, what's wrong with this? And it's kind of a nasty email. And I said, well, what are you talking about? You know, explain it better. A part on this, basically, he claimed wasn't cut. And there was a little 8-inch slit that you have to put in there to fit it together. And I'm like, okay, well, because these are all custom made, I said, he wanted me to send him a new part. I said, well, I'll do you one better. I says, I'll pay the postage. You send the part back to me, and I'll cut it and fix it and send it to you. Because if everyone's specific, I have to have certain measurements. And if they're even a 1/4 inch off, especially on this one little slit, because it's actually where it holds together. Plus, I thought he was full of crap, too. I'm not going to lie. Of course, he ghosted me. Now, this was about March 10th, whenever he started sending me the letters. So, never sent it back to me. Didn't hear from him. I had the record of the last message I sent him that he never answered, which was, dated March 10th. I'm looking at it right here. Didn't hear nothing. Now, I guess this is in March. Now, today is June, Wednesday, June 26th. Today's June 26th. Earlier this month, I don't know the exact date. I'll probably look up the message. I get a thing on eBay saying that this person is disputing the transaction through his bank. Basically saying he never received it. Meanwhile, I have all the messages where he messaged and tried to get a free part. So I knew something was up there. So they said it's going to take anywhere from 2 to 10 weeks to solve this dispute. They want to know any evidence I had against it, saying if it was a false claim. And I'm like, and I have eBay seller protection too. So I'm still not much worried about it because this has happened before. So I sent a screenshot of the messages that we had been conversing with all the way back in March. And I also sent a picture of the item. How do you how do you prove it got mailed out? You know, how do you prove that? But of course, I had the tracking number and those kind of things. I said all that, didn't give it much of a thought, and then I looked on Friday, and it said that he had won the dispute. The buyer won the dispute, and they took $250 out of my account, and I wasn't going to get a refund, or I'm sorry, I wasn't going to get a return of the product. And I'm like, wait a minute, something ain't right. Now, most people would get real pissed. I really didn't. I'm like, all right, well, this is what eBay seller protection's for. So I call up eBay. There is a number, believe it or not. They try to keep it hidden from you. Oh, no, actually, what I did, I do have the number for eBay, but what I actually did was I got on the eBay website and clicked contact, and after doing it about 6 times, there's an option where an agent will call you. And it said a 2-minute wait. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I said, call me. And I waited. About 2-3 minutes later, an eBay guy calls me, an agent from eBay calls me. And he heard my story. I told him exactly what I just told you guys. He, of course, can look it up. It's all in front of him. So I explained to the eBay agent, whose name was Jonathan, by the way. I said to Jonathan, I said, look, you know, here's what happened. Here's my previous messages. Here's the message before when he was asking me for the scans. Here's the message after he received it telling me there was a problem, which didn't exist. And I'll tell you how I could prove that, too. And I'm getting into that here. So I'm trying to be quick. I also said, you know, Jonathan, I said, you have 30 days to return a product on eBay. You cannot return something after 30 days. I understand a bank dispute, they could say they never received it, which is what he was doing, but I got proof right here that said he received it. I got the tracking number, I got his messages back and forth to me. You know, it's pretty cut and dry. I'm a little upset, and you know, the guy was very patient with me. I'm not easy to talk to when I'm upset. I realize that. It's the German in me. So, but he listened and he looked it all up. Turns out, he looked up the buyer, and he said that this person has pulled this quite a few times. And he explained that to me. And I said to him, I said, well, Jonathan, I said, what about the feedback? I said, why does he have 100% good feedback? And he explained it to me. He said that since he's waiting after the 30-day period, he's waiting after the point where you can, as a seller, can leave a buyer feedback, or vice versa. I don't see how that would work. But if you buy something on eBay, you have a certain amount, if you sell something on eBay, you have a certain amount of time to leave feedback. And if one of your buyers leaves you negative feedback, there's nothing you can do except call eBay, which I have done in the past. And 90% of the time, they take care of it. But this guy knew what he was doing. He was waiting past the time for return, or waiting past the time for feedback, and then he was filing a false claim with his bank, saying it was a bullshit charge. And now, if it was a $10 item, I really wouldn't care. But it's a $250 item, and I know what the guy wants to do with it. So me and my little Star Wars group are going to be looking all over the internet to see if this person does end up trying to do that, trying to take my prints, and you know, maybe he's going to scan what he bought off me and try to do that. We're gonna see, and he'll end up getting blacklisted, which is a thing on eBay, by the way. You can, if you have enough people, you can get somebody blacklisted, especially in the groups. That's what Facebook groups are for. I've got a huge Facebook group. I don't talk about it much in my eBay videos, but it's there. There's about 6,000 people in it, and collectors and stuff like that. But anyway, so talked to the guy, and Jonathan is his name, and he said, give me 3 days. He said, and we'll fix it. He gave 3. Here it is. This is day 3. That's why I'm doing the video. I look at my eBay account, and boom, there's the money again with a nice little email apologizing for the problem. And I guess the guy's been reported by me and by eBay. So hopefully he will be kicked off eBay. One thing, if you get kicked off eBay with your financial information, even if you go on with a fake name, however you pay, they trace those credit card numbers, whatever you're using to pay, your PayPal, they trace it back, and guess what? You can't get another eBay account. Now, I don't know if it's going to go that far with this guy. I hope it does, because guys like that is what ruins it for the sellers. I know buyers have their issues with eBay too, but we're not talking about the buyers tonight. We're talking about sellers getting ripped off. And the reason I'm doing this video is I don't want anybody, you guys that are out there selling, working hard, you know, especially making stuff and selling on eBay, getting ripped off like this. It ain't right. But now I'm going to give you a good story that's along the similar lines, why it's not so bad. About a week or two ago, I have another product I sell. It's a Real West Cafe recreation from Butch and Sundance, and it comes with it's a backing for it's a bar. It's a little bar play set. It has a chandelier and it has a little paper bartender. Yeah, it's paper. It's made out of cardboard. Just a little thing. I sold one to somebody. They sent me an email, or not an email, a message on eBay saying that they didn't get the little bartender. I'm like, okay, still no big deal. If you want to, I figured maybe they tore it or something, because usually I'm pretty good about packing all that up because it's all in one piece. So I go, I said, yeah, first and foremost, I said, yeah, no problem, man. I'll just send you another one. No big deal. And I did. But I also remembered that I have security cameras in my shop because I'm not always the only one here. I have a couple people that help me out when I get really busy. And I'm also a tech nut when it comes to stuff like, I'm a retired DJ too. I got all this crap laying around the house, so I use it. So I got cameras around the house, cameras outside the house, I mean. And then I do have one in my shop because it's also a main entrance to my toy room, and I have been ripped off before, if you ever saw that video. So just for the hell of it, I looked at the time that the shipping label was printed, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna check the camera because that'd be show it was my buddy packing it up. He worked that day, and I looked, and sure enough, I saw him, and I watched him pack up that item, and sure enough, he dropped the little bartender guy. So I feel a lot better about that. I know I wasn't lied to. So I couldn't go back far enough for the Death Star, but I know I know I made that cut. It was only a little 8-inch cut. All you gotta do is take a box cutter, and that's what I told the guy over messages too, and he didn't want that. He wanted a brand new part. So don't fall for it, guys. That's what they do. And it's pretty much all I have to say in this video. Keep it short and sweet. I hope it never happens to you. If you are an eBay seller, keep it honest, and I hope you're doing well. All right, bye.
It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.